Tailbone is long, shoulders are sloped away out of your ears, and ribs are pulled in. Back of the neck is nice and long, so elongate through the top back side of your head. We're going to start this morning just really simply with our curtsies. So step out with your right foot and point your left toes. Put all your weight onto your right foot, so your left leg is up in the air. Bend that left knee, and then bend the right knee and sit down into that right leg, reaching with those left toes as if you could touch the wall to your right. Sorry, to your left, and then back up again. Or no, it was to your right. Here we go. And reach and stand and sit down and stand back up. So the right knee is bending and straightening. The right glutes are coming pretty much straight down, but on a little bit of a slight angle here. Work in that right side. Left toes off the ground if that's okay with you. Do what you need to with your arms. You can hold them down. You can hold them out. You can hold them out here. You can use them as you would as a ballerina in porte de bras arms. Good. And hopefully you are feeling this in your right glute and your right quad. Sitting down into it, doing your best not to collapse with the upper body, but to keep the upper body open, chest towards the camera. Little reminder that if you just do Pilates with me on Saturday, the 4th of July, I am holding class. The majority of you seem to be good with that. So I will be here wearing some sort of red, white, and blue something on my head, which you are welcome to do also. All right, I think we're almost done. Let's sit into this one. Cross that back leg, sit into that right leg, lift those left toes, and give me 1 inch sit deeper, hold, 1 inch sit deeper, hold, 1 inch sit deeper, hold, 1 more inch hold, 4, 3, 2, 1, ow! I hope you felt those. All right, weight shifts onto your left leg, right toes are going to point, shoulders up, back, and down. Deep breath in, bend that, or lift that left foot, right foot off the ground, bend that left knee, slide that right foot without any weight on it behind you. Tap if you need to when you come up. Sitting into this with that left side, bending and straightening that left leg, sitting into it, feeling your glutes, feeling your quad. Nice job, y'all. And again, anything you want with your arms, whatever feels like a challenge to you. Nice work. Feeling that left glute and that left quad, I hope. You guys look beautiful and graceful. Good. We're going to do 2 more. And then on this one, we'll sit a little deeper, lift that back leg, go 1 inch deeper and hold. And 1 inch deeper and hold, and 1 inch deeper and hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that up. All right. Facing your mat, shoulders up, back, and down, wide stance, abs drawn in, bend your knees so that tailbone slides down an imaginary wall. And then hands on your quads, give me a flat back position. So we're not tucked and rounded, we're extended through that tailbone, but then pull those ribs and abs in to support this. And then we're going to walk our hands out. Our arms are going to be wide as well as our feet. Shoulders out of your ears. Little tiny tricep press up, although your arms are a little wider than usual. And you're going to rotate towards me, lift, and then finally see, could you stack your hips? If you want a little extra challenge, you're going to lift that top leg up and bring it down. We're going to come back to center. We're going to do a wide-legged push-up, but arms parallel, press up. We're going the other way, open up. See if you can stack your feet. If you want to, lift that top leg, come back to center, find that wide-legged stance, bend your elbows, tricep push-up, hinge those hips back, walk back, down dog, walk it forward, push up, rotate, stack it up, lift if you can, back to center, push up, rotate, stack, lift the leg, center, push up, down dog. You can walk your hands back if you want, or you can leave them because you know we're doing another round. Push up, rotate, stack your feet, lift your top leg if you can, back to center, push up, rotate, stack your feet if you can, lift the top leg if you can, back to center, push up, all the way down, knees come down, all the way down onto your abs. I hope that warms you up. Bring your big toes to touch. Let your forehead rest on your hands. Bring your heels to touch. So you're squeezing that lower body together. We're going to press ourselves up, a little baby lift in that upper body. We're going to lift our elbows up. Then you're going to bring your elbows down. You let your forehead rest on your hands. And we're going to lift our legs. Try and get your thighs off the ground, heels together. Bring that down, hands out front, press up, leave the arms out there with the legs. Arms, legs, arms, legs. So upper body, lower body. Then if you want to, you get a little rocking motion going. So your hands come off the ground, swan dive, press up, rock, press up and rock. Good. And relax. Then you're just going to hinge back and get a nice stretch. Arms can be in front or by your sides. You can make fists and stack them behind your hamstrings to be gentler on those knees. Very nice. Come on up. That was a nice how do you do. Wake up. All right, we're over on our elbow facing the camera again. Your top leg is going to crisscross over the bottom leg at the ankles. We want to protect this shoulder, so push it back, lift up out of it, and use your lats to engage those muscles. Top arm is up. We're going to use our feet to lift up, but we're going to keep our feet where they are. They don't move, right? Knees stay bent. Then straighten the legs by lifting the hip. You're in an arch. Bend the knees, hover the hip, and lift, and bend, and lift, and bend, and lift, and bend, and lift. Good. Come down. Keep your knees how they are, but curl them so that you're in your mermaid position. If you feel really rounded on that left side, lift up and pull those glutes out from under you so you're a little more comfortable. If this is not comfortable on your knees, you can bring that top leg a little farther out if that's more comfortable. Okay. Sitting up tall, again, try not to slouch. Lift up, arms out to the side, and we're going to try to V. And I want you to go as far as you can to the left without toppling over, right? And then back to center. And to the left, and now you're going to rotate. And center and up. To the left. Chest rotates down. It might be a tiny bit. It's very small for me. To the side, rotate to look down. Come back to center. Two more like that. Over, rotate, center, and up. One more. Over, rotate, center, and up. Switch your legs around. When you do that mermaid on the same side, and then we'll lead that right back into the side bend. So again, if you're slouchy, pull that right glute out from under you. Arms up if you can in a little bit of a V, and then over to the right as far as you can go without falling, and back up. Over to the right, give me a little rotation, back to center, and up. To the right, rotate your chest, center, and up. Over, rotate, center, and up. Good. One more time. Over, rotate, center, and up. Go ahead. Come down onto that elbow. Move your legs a little bit. You still have a bend in your knees. Top leg in front of the bottom. Push the shoulder back, lift up out of it, engage those lats. And then as you lift up to straighten the legs, you lift the hip higher, you don't move the feet. Separate the knees, come into your curtsy, and lift, and curtsy, and lift, and curtsy. Good. Last two, last one, sit all the way down, spin it around to the front of your mat. All right, big toes are touching, ankles are touching, knees are touching, shoulders out of your ears, hands back for your roll down position. Pull your ribs and your abs in, open your arms out, lower them down, come up, inhale, pump. Exhale, hinge back, pull your ribs in, maybe challenge yourself with your arms by either opening them to the side, or if you want, you can open them into a V for a little more challenge. Or even more challenging, arms go up over your head. So you inhale when you're holding at the top and the back, and you exhale on the movement. On this last one, I want you to roll back, pull your ribs in, and you're holding. Look at your toes, get all 10 toes on the ground. Adding on, open your arms. Can you widen them? Can you straighten them? Can you bring your arms over your head? Can you bring them all the way up by your ears? Check those abs, make sure they're pulled in. Lift your left leg, lift your right leg, put them both down. Pull your abs in, hold here, reach through your fingers, make sure you didn't tuck and curl into a turtle. Lifting, holding, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Grab those knees and roll down. Hug those knees into your chest, please. Nice low back stretch here. Let those hips rock side to side. All right, put the soles of the feet together and pivot your knees open. Deep breath in, exhale, head, neck, and shoulders float off the ground. On the inhale, point your toes. On the exhale, flex through the heels and lift your arms up overhead. On the inhale, point the toes and imagine you're reaching for them. Or you can actually reach for them and then come down. So this is our slow double leg stretch. Inhale, knees open. Exhale, float off the ground. Inhale, point your toes. Exhale, flex your heels. Inhale, point, lift, reach for those toes, and exhale down. Inhale, knees open. Exhale, float off the ground. Inhale, point your toes. Exhale, heels, flex, arms go overhead. Inhale, point, lift, reach for those toes, and exhale down. Inhale, knees open. Exhale, float. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Inhale, lift, and exhale down. Open. Torso lifts. Toes point. Flex the feet, arms overhead. Inhale, point, lift, reach for those toes, and exhale down. 2 more. Inhale, knees open. Exhale, float off the ground. Inhale, point your toes. Flex your heels, arms overhead. Inhale, point, lift, reach. Do 1 more on your own for me, please. So it's 6 steps. Inhaling as you start, exhaling on the second one, and that should get you through. See how nice I was? I only made you do 1 on your own. When you finish, hug those knees in and then pivot the knees open again. Lift those feet together. Turn them into Pilates V. So heels together, toes apart. And then push your knees forward so they're right over your hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, float off the ground high enough to get both shoulder blades off the ground. Extend your back leg towards the back, not low, but away. So a little bit of a half of a V. And your top arm or your front arm is reaching to me, but not rolling over, right? Lift and stretch. And then heels back to center, opposite direction, heels together. And reach, and inhale, and exhale, reach, and inhale. Exhale, reach, and inhale. Last one each way. Good. Knees in, hug them in. And once again, pivot into that froggy position. Stack those knees over your hips. Pull your abs in, fingers to the sky. Push your shoulder blades against the ground. Nod your head yes. Lift your shoulder blades up and press them down. Lift them up, press them down. 2 more. Lift and press, lift and press. And be aware to keep those shoulder blades down. So we're going to lower the hands to about mid-thigh height to help keep those shoulders engaged. Pull your abs in, pull your ribs in, exhale. Staple your belly button to your spine. On the inhale, lower your legs away from you as if you're going to tap the ground with your heels. Pull your abs in and exhale to pull that back up again. So inhale as those knees move away from you, abs flat. Exhale to lift them back up again. If for any reason this position is uncomfortable, you can certainly bring those knees together and lift and lower in a parallel position. I hope that you guys notice when we use the balls with this toe touch and you have the ball between your knees that it's a little easier on the hip flexors. So you can always keep in mind during this exercise, if you do have issues, you could grab that pillow, for instance, or that ball, and that will engage some of those inner thigh muscles to help take some of the pressure off of your hip flexion. Keep in mind when you're bringing those legs back up, you're not swinging them, you're taking your time, lowering those legs on the inhale, pause a moment, exhale with control, bring them up. Just 2 more, lower and lift, and last time, lower and lift, and then put your feet on the ground. And then we're going to keep our heels in turnout, or our toes in turnout, heels together, knees apart, hands down by your sides. Once again, press those shoulder blades open to grow broad across your chest. Engage those shoulder blades against the ground. Deep breath in, tuck your hips, round them, and tip them the other way. And then tuck, and tip, and tuck, and then stay in either that tuck or allow your spine to come into neutral and lift your hips off the ground. So a bridge, but knees are wide here. And I want you to hover your hands a couple inches off the ground, but keep your shoulder blades engaged. Then you're going to take your right leg and you're going to kick it out to the side and flex through that heel. Suddenly that left hamstring should be engaged, but notice, did you wobble over to your right side? Try not to. Try to even up those hips. And then that right foot, with it flexed, is just going to lift and lower about 2 inches at a time. Don't rush through this. Make it nice and slow with control. Keep lifting through that left hip, but especially keep lifting that right hip. Don't let it droop. Hands reaching, fingers long. 3, 2, 1. Right heel down, hips come down. Deep breath in. Exhale, tuck the hips under. Inhale, tip them the other way. Exhale, tuck. Stay there or go to neutral. Hands by your sides, lift your hips. Now hover your hands, but keep your shoulders engaged. Squeeze that right glute as you flex through that left heel. Did you topple to the left? Lift that left hip nice and even, flex through the heel. And again, you're going to lift and lower that left leg. Small, controlled movements, lifting and lowering a little bit, not speeding up, but taking it with control, feeling that right glute and that right hamstring. And then heels down, hips down. That was so much fun. We have a new version. Walk your feet back a little bit. Press your hands down onto the mat. Find either a tuck or a neutral position with your hips. And I want you to walk your legs back onto your tippy toes, but put your heels together. So heels are together, hips are lifted, and heels are lifted. So we're up on our tippy toes. Hands are going to hover again. This time, right leg comes up, reaches out with a pointed toe, bend it an inch, and reach, and reach, and reach, and reach. Adding on, can you reach? At the same time, you lift your hip and reach, and lift, and reach, and lift. A little bit to the left calf, and the right quad, and the left glute, and hamstring. So much going on. 4, 3, right hip stays up, last 2, last 1, foot down, come down. Woo, deep breath in, hands by your sides. Tuck and tip until you find your neutral or tucked position. Lift, walk your feet back, heels together. Pilates V with your feet, so toes are apart, even if it's the littlest bit, and then come up on those tippy toes if you have not. Hands hover, left leg up in the air, extend it, reach it, and then bend and straighten, bend and straighten. At the same time, can you lift and lower through that right heel? And then heels down, everything down. And we're gonna hug those knees, one to each shoulder to get a nice hamstring stretch here. Let those hips rock side to side. Bring those knees together and extend those legs up in the air. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift yourself up towards those legs. Climb your hands up to the ankles. Roll your shoulders out of your ears and move your hands to your left leg. Deep breath in. On the exhale, widen your elbows. Pull your leg towards you, but also lift towards your leg. Reach through your right toes. Inhaling and exhaling for a stretch. And give me a little pull and a little pull, right leg in. Bring that leg a little closer. Lift yourself to the leg. Widen your elbows. Bring your leg to you. Hold here. And then give me 2 little exhales. And you might pull on the leg a little closer. You're not bouncing it. You're just pulling it in. If you prefer just one pull, that's fine. So it's our scissors. Almost there. Good. Leave the legs where they are. Torso goes down, arms out in a T position. Little tick-tock with the legs, side to side. When you're ready, lift the opposite hip as you bring your legs to the opposite side. If you want, turn that into a circle. So corkscrew. And then bend those knees because we have gradations of this exercise. All right, prop yourself up on your elbows, pull your abs in and bring those knees in nice and close. It's going to be a little bit tough, but notice how these shoulders want to roll forward, squeeze them back, and then press your chest up, which will pop your belly out, so then pull your belly in. And then legs go up, but let's start with the bent knee position this time. Legs go side to side. If you want to make a circle, do it with bent knees to start with. Make sure you reverse your circle every time. And then if you want more challenge, you extend those legs straight and go back to your tick-tock. And then if you want, you turn that into a circle. What's important is to not let those legs go so far away that your belly pops up, right? So control here. And then we're going to bend those knees and put the feet on the ground and come up. Place those hands down so that we can lean back, but we're not going to be back as far as we were before. Same thing goes with the shoulders. Pull them back, lift the chest, but then you have to pull the ribs in. And then you find, where's that magic spot? I have to lean back a little bit more since my legs are so long. To lift those legs up tabletop, not way out here, but right over your hips. And then again, tick-tock or pendulum side to side. Option to draw a circle with bent knees. And you can make this one pretty aggressive if you have your knees bent. If you choose to straighten your legs, start with your tick-tock and make sure that feels okay before you try to add a circle. Good, so you choose whichever one you want to do, but whatever you do, your ribs are engaged, pulling those, or those abs are engaged, pulling those ribs down. All right, very nice, all the way up, seated position now, legs wide, lift your hips up and scoot them behind your hands, and that should bring you into that forward fold for spine stretch. Notice, as always, your spine is elongated, not rounded. You're lifting up out of your hip flexors, your hip bones, so you're not squatted into them. Press tall, and then reach forward. Shoulders out of your ears, and keep making your way forward just to your comfort zone, pushing that tailbone back. Shoulders out of your ears. And then we will sit up nice and tall. Shoulders out of your ears again. And we're going back to a sideline position. Knees are bent and hips are stacked. Feet are together. And we're going to lift that waistline off the ground as always. We're going to go into a Pilates V so that heels are together, toes are apart, abs drawn in, keep the waistline lifted, lift that top leg so sort of into your clam position, but from there, open it farther and farther. So you can do either a half range of motion, that top range of motion, you can go full range if you want, but be really aware that you're keeping that waistline lifted. Working that outer hip here. Good, now knees are going to stay together and we're going to lift the heels up, or toes up, the lower leg up, and we're going to do that same thing from this position. So now heels are up in the air, knee, bottom leg is down. Then knees come down, top leg up and over, flip. So we're doing our rotator exercise. We're going to wear these little suckers out today. Last thing we're going to do here, prop yourself up on your hand. So your elbow is off the ground and your ribs are off the ground. Lift that top leg to hip height. Bring that leg in front of you, flex it, point it, reach it. Try to keep it at hip height, way back, and flex forward and reach back. Now notice if you're dropping into that shoulder, lift up, but also pull that bottom rib up. That's the challenge, is to not let that rib drop, right? Good. Reach and stretch it and reach it and stretch it. One more, reach and stretch. Bring that leg in front of you, drop it, and then give that hip a nice massage. Hopefully it deserves it because it's tuckered out. And then as you come up, leave the legs where they are, and you should end up with your, whatever was your top leg, right across, and then you just give it a tug and push that hip down at the same time, so you're not lifting the bottom hip or the top hip, you're pressing it so you get a nice stretch here. And then we'll flip over to the other side, and we're going to start with those knees stacked, resting your arm underneath your ear, waistline lifted, heels together, Pilates V, pivot that knee, those knees open. And then again, you can do your full range of motion for your clam, or you can close halfway and open. But keep that waistline lifted. Good job. Almost there. Good. Knees together, hips lift up, or heels lift up in the air, and same thing. Check in on that waistline. Is it still lifted? Mine wanted to sag and relax. Very nice. And now we're going to bring those legs down. We're going to pivot that bottom hand so we can lift up onto the hand, not the elbow. So lift the elbow, get the shoulder out of the ear, and then, oh, lift that rib cage. That's what's important. Top leg flexes in front and then points long length. Flex in front, point long length. Be aware of that rib cage. Don't let that sucker sag, please. Good. Last two. For the last one, bend the knees, let that leg drop in front. Give that hip a little love. And then as you sit up, just simply allow that leg to come across the opposite leg. Pull it across your body and press your hip down for a nice stretch here. All right. As you come out of that stretch, you're going to meet me on your abdominals again, please. All right. Bring those big toes to touch as always. Toenails are down on the ground. Toes are pointed. Bring those heels together and then bend the knees. And then from there, you're going to widen your knees and keep the heels together, Pilates V. Upper body is going to stay down. Heels are going to press together. Deep breath in. Pull your belly button in. Lift your thighs off the ground and down and lift and down. Now, when I say lift, they may or may not come very far off the ground, right? And you can decide to adjust for your hamstrings. You could bring your heels closer, or you could move them farther away for knee and hamstring comfort. And then relax and let those legs go wide. So nice wide, toes pointed out, just let that relax. Press up onto your elbows. Shoulders out of your ears, chest lifted. Good. And then walk that back down and bring those big toes to touch again for me. Lift it up into that little baby arch again. Keep your big toes together, keep your heels together, keep your toes on the ground, and lift your arms, even if you're just hovering a little bit. Inhaling, and then exhale, arms go forward for breaststroke. Inhale, pull back, exhale, dive forward. Check on your toenails, make sure they're still touching the ground. Abs are pulled in, heels are together. And reach and stretch, and reach and stretch. And relax. Shake that out. Option to put those two things together. So knees go wide, heels go together. Deep breath in. Pull your belly button in. On the inhale, lift both ends of your body. Exhale, dive forward. And then you're just going to lift and lower those thighs. Two more, and then relax. After that second one, bend your knees and windshield wiper your legs side to side, please. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees and just to loosen up a little bit through that low back area. We're going to do our stagger cat-cow. So walk your left hand forward and walk your right knee forward. And then go into a cow forward and a cat back. And it'll just feel a little bit different. You might feel a little bit awkward, but should be working or limbering up a little bit differently in that low back area, especially, maybe a little in hip flexors. Good. And then left hand goes back and right knee goes back. Now right hand forward and left knee forward. And again, we're going to undulate through that cat-cow, coming forward and rolling back. Nice. And then square everything back up again. Give those hips a little rock side to side. And then mosey over into your seated position again. All right, knees are bent, toes together, heels together, knees together, shoulders out of your ears, palms to the sky. Exhale, hinge back, pull your ribs in. You don't have to go very far. Take the arm that's closest to me and reach to me. Take your back arm and lift it over your head. And then I want you to rotate a little farther, but still lifting, not grinding down on that vertebra. Reach, come halfway back. Reach, halfway. Reach, and reach. Look at your knees and keep them together. Make sure they're staying together. That will let you know that you're rotating at that waistline, that the ribs are moving, but the hips are staying forward. And come back to center. Roll your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale, hinge back. Back arm reaches, front arm to the sky, and reach, and reach. And again, be aware of what's going on in your legs. Knees stay together, hips stay facing forward, even though the ribs are rotating. And back to center. Shoulders out of your ears. We're going to, again, roll ourselves down and hug those knees into your chest to give you a nice little low back stretch. Good. Left foot on the ground, right toes straight up in the air. Elbows at your sides, and then fingertips rest on your hip bones. So we're going to do a really focused leg circle here. So be aware of your hips, that they are staying nice and stable. Point your right toes and give me a small circle without wobbling your hips. Come back to the top of your circle and reverse that circle. So as you start your circle, you inhale. As you finish your circle, you exhale. When you feel stronger, make bigger circles, but make sure your hips don't wobble. If you want, straighten out your left leg and flex through that heel, but notice if your circle suddenly went out instead of up. So if that happens, that might mean you might need to bend your left knee a little bit, because we still want those circles right above your hip. So again, the reminder here is that you are holding a beverage on either both hips or even on your rib cage, right? And you don't want to spill that. Sunday night, I texted 2 people asking them 2 different questions. One was a fabric question to a seamstress: how much fabric would I need for something? And the other person was, could they help me? Have they written something yet? Anyway, both of them said, I've had a cocktail. Can I talk to you tomorrow? So apparently Sunday night was blow off some steam night. All right. And then bend that knee and place that foot on the ground. That was apropos of if you had a cocktail on your hips, you wouldn't want to spill it, right? Okay. It wasn't just an arbitrary story. Left leg up in the air, fingertips on those hips. Start small circles. Oh, I must have offended someone. Hopefully not. All right, reverse your circle every time. Make the circles bigger. And then when you're ready, if you can, flex through that right heel. But again, if you notice that your circles go out front, then you want to bend your knee enough that your circles can stay right over your hip. You can get more aggressive, but again, be aware that you're keeping your hips very quiet. and then bend that knee. Roll over onto your side and face me. We're going to come up onto our elbow and our bottom knee bent like this for now. Lift that top leg. Bring it in line with your hip. So you don't want it in front, you don't want it behind, just in line with your hip, which is in line with your elbow. And we're going to do a few circles this way. But notice if your ribs have drooped, lift them up. So these circles might not be very big, no big deal about that. My shoulder is wanting to collapse, so remember to press up out of that. All right, and then pause. Okay, come up. So now you're on this hand, and that bottom knee is going to bend right underneath you. Now, you're going to come up, and you're going to do those circles again. So leg in line with your hips, small circles, and reverse your direction every time. Keep that going. Good. Keep going. This knee won't let me do that right now today, but you guys are still doing it. You guys are still doing it. Unless you have that same thing going on. Are you sure it's a nice, pretty circle? Can you make it nice and slow? I say as I'm watching, not doing. Come on down. I feel guilty. All right, other side. We started on that elbow with that bottom knee bent. Lift those ribs up, top leg in line, and start your circle. And reverse that circle every time. Notice if your shoulder is slinking up into your ear as an earring. Try not to do that, please. Very nice. And now we prop ourselves up on that hand and that bottom knee. We're going to try to get that leg. We're going to try and get that leg at hip height and do those circles again. And again, reversing that circle every time. And relax. All right. Back over onto your spine. We're going to stretch those legs out a little bit. Hopefully they need it, those hips and legs. So we're just going to start with our left leg extended and our right leg passive figure 4. So right knee is just open, and you can put your right hand on that inner thigh, and simply the weight of the hand helping to give you a little more stretch. Then slide that left heel along the ground, and then press that right knee open even more. But notice if the left hip wants to come up towards your left rib, push that left hip back down. And then we're going to add on to this stretch, not by lifting the left leg, but by sliding the right leg farther across. So if you were wearing capris, the middle of your shin would be on that thigh now. And keep pressing that away and keep pushing the left hip down. And now finally, we're going to go ahead and thread that needle and grab the back of the left hamstring. We're going to bend the elbows to pull that nice and close, and maybe take that right elbow to press the knee open a little bit more. And finally, straighten out that left leg, flex through the heel, deep breath in, and pull that left leg a little closer, and point the toes and move it away. And then flex and bring it closer, and point and move it away. And then the last thing we'll do here on this side is close that gap. Reach for that left knee. Let the hips take a little rock side to side. Notice how when you go to that left side, you get a deeper stretch in that right hip. Maybe make your moves a little bit bigger so that eventually you could bring your right hand off to the side and let the knees drop all the way to the left and get that deep, full stretch. Rotate your right palm to the ceiling to help open up that right side of your body. Beautiful stretch for lots of parts of your body, especially those that seem to get tightest. Straighten out your left leg, and then bring your right leg back through center and straighten it out. And hopefully life is better on that side, on that right side. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, please. Let it simply drape open, and put your left hand on the inside of that left thigh. So passive figure 4, and then we'll bend that right knee and still press that left knee open. but also press that right hip down. And then we're going to slide that calf a little farther across your right thigh and keep pressing it open so your triangle got smaller, and we'll reach through and thread that needle. Keeping that left elbow pressing that left elbow pressing that left hip open. And then finally close that gap. Oh, sorry, straighten out your right leg. I know Carol caught that. Good, and now bend both knees, cross the right ankle, the right knee over the left thigh completely. Grab that right knee, take a little rock side to side. Maybe get a little more aggressive every time. Eventually moving your left arm to the side and letting the knees drop to the right. Big stretch, left pectoral chest region, left low back, left hip, left hamstring, NIT band, glutes. And then as we come back to center, straighten your right leg and then just bring that left leg back. Lengthen the body long, pull your abs in, roll yourself either over to your side or bend your knees and roll yourself up. You can unmute yourselves for cat-cow if you don't mind. That will be of course. And then come into your regular cat-cow. We're going to exhale into our cat. Meow, meow. And open into the cow. And into your cat. Meow, meow. And one more cow. All right, at the beginning of class, we did our down dog. So we're going to tuck our toes, press into that same down dog. Give your hands so that you can walk back. Then you'll bend your knees, bring your hands onto your thighs, roll your shoulders out of your ears, and lift up. Nice job, everyone. All right, if you have a moment, stick around and we'll do a little more OMG and trivia. You can unmute yourselves.